the Iron Sultanate. When the infidels shattered the last seals of ancient prophecy and threw open the thrice-cursed gate to Jahannam, it was not merely a mistake. It was the final sin of a doomed world. From that infernal rupture came the Gog and Magog, vast abominations of living fire and steel, yoked to the will of Shaitan himself. They spilled across continents like oil-fed wildfire, their roars replacing prayer, their limbs reshaping cities into temples of desecration. The world began to drown. Dunya trembled. But as it is written, the Creator of all did not abandon the faithful. In a moment that echoed the ancient scriptures, the iron wall of Du al-Qarnayn rose again, not as mere stone and mortar, but as a divine fortress of steel and sanctified fire. It coalesced in the lands of the Sultan of Rome, manifesting with such fury and awe that even the demons paused their feasting. A great migration followed, bodies spilling across the cracked earth from Europa, Asia, and Africa. Not since the Hijra of the Prophet had the earth groaned under so many footsteps of the faithful. Millions died upon the roads, their bones left to bleach in fields where they had been cut down like wheat by heretic warbands. The Shaitan's slaves desecrated the dead, building vile effigies from skulls and rib cages, ensuring no soul could find peace in burial. But for those who endured, there awaited sanctuary. The gates of the Iron Wall were sealed with divine thunder, and thus was born the great Sultanate, fortified and terrible, the invincible Iron Wall of the two horns that pierced the sky. From that day to this, the Iron Wall has never known peace. Demonic legions claw at its roots, their corruption eating at its foundations like acid. But the Sultanate endures. Each dawn, the people mourn fresh martyrs. Each dusk, new names are carved into the bone-plated memorials beside the prayer towers. Within the walls, the knowledge that once burned in the libraries of Baghdad and Cairo flourishes again. The muezzin calls out over minarets plated in silver and stained glass, summoning warriors to prayer and soldiers to their last rites. The Azib sharpshooters man the heights, their veils soaked in oils of holy perfume, their eyes unblinking behind lenses of crimson glass. Their rifles, relics of 1,000 years of warfare, line the Iron Wall like thorned vines, ready to blossom with thunder. Beside them, the elite janissaries await in obsidian barracks carved into the wall's flanks, ready to strike down any incursion with the fury of a waiting lion. In moments of dire peril, the House of Wisdom, the dark heart of the Sultanate, unleashes the Takwin, living automatons forged from scripture, flesh, and alchemical sorcery. When the need becomes truly desperate, the Sultan himself marches to war beneath the emerald banner of the Prophet, surrounded by his chosen janissary guard, men whose blood runs with liquid fire and whose tongues have long been cut out lest they reveal the names of forbidden things. Every aspect of war within the Sultanate flows from the Iron Wall. Azebs faint and fall back, luring heretics into kill zones prepped with mines and cursed sigils. The lions of Jabir strike from the dunes, their chimera mounts roaring with thunderous hunger. All the while, the Sultan's artillery rains hellfire, each shell etched with Quranic verse and packed with sacred thermite. When the battle lines close and the enemy claws its way into reach, the janissaries surge like a tide of wrath, their kili blades curved like the crescent moon of judgment. Behind them, the sappers cackle as their traps detonate, and the assassins of Alamut slip between the seconds, gutting demonic lieutenants and silencing apostate generals. Beyond the Iron Wall, the faithful hunt. Small elite companies stalk the wastelands of no man's land. They are not missionaries. They are executioners. Their tasks are sacred. Retrieve relics from shattered mosques, locate forbidden tomes before heretics can corrupt them, or find wayward apostates who have sold their souls to the Shaitan in exchange for foul sorcery. Though the Sultanate maintains a brittle understanding with the Church of New Antioch, it is no alliance of equals. Those who interfere with a Sultanate mission, ally or not, are swiftly silenced. Honor is blood-deep within the Sultanate, and insult is a fire that can only be extinguished by death. Yüzbaşı captains, the Sultan's blessed butchers beyond the Great Iron Wall, where the sky is scorched by crimson fire and the soil weeps black ichor. The Yüzbaşı walk as gods of slaughter. These are no ordinary men. They are field commanders of the Iron Sultanate, warlords molded by agony, alchemy, and the whispering powers of Shaitan. Chosen not by bloodline or coin, but through the sacred merit of carnage, most Yüzbaşı rise from the janissary ranks, soldiers who have already bled beneath the crescents of the faithful. But the path to command is not one of glory. It is a trial by suffering. Their flesh is steeped in Jabirian elixirs, enhancing muscle and bone until pain becomes meaningless. Their minds are peeled open and rewoven by mystics, granting them a horrifying clarity, one devoid of mercy, remorse, or hesitation. What is pain to a Yüzbaşı? Nothing. What is death? A tool. Their souls are chiseled into perfect obedience, viewing the loss of men not as tragedy, but as transaction. Heretics are cast into Jahannam. The faithful dead awaken in paradise. It is arithmetic, cold, and divine. And for this terrible devotion they are rewarded. Those who survive the hell hunts into no man's land earn the Sultan's favor. Golden dinars in heaps, masterwork weapons of Damascus, steel inscribed with forbidden verses, and gifts of wonder from the House of Wisdom. Cloaked in the pelts of slain chimeras and wrapped in hides that crackle with infernal resistance, the most honored Yüzbaşı walk flanked by horrors of brass and bone, artificial hawks whose eyes see through lies, and automaton hounds that howl with voices not of this world. These constructs, forged by the Jabirian alchemists, do not merely accompany their masters. They worship them, acting as both weapon and shrine. Their talons rend, their fangs purge, and their every action testifies to the sanctity of the Yüzbaşı command. They wear armor hammered from meteoric iron, etched in gold with the names of martyrs, heroes, and mad saints. Their Kilij blades, once wielded by long-dead champions, burn with blood-wrought memory. The finest bare-hand cannons large enough to cleave a man in two, these grotesque hybrids of firearm and halberd speak in thunder and smoke. They do not lead from behind. They stand at the edge of annihilation and beckon their warriors forward. Whether hunting a rogue emir turned heretic or reclaiming sacred relics from the ash-smeared ruins of the Levant, a Yüzbaşı marches under divine mandate. His word is scripture. His blade is a covenant of war. The Jabirian alchemists, engineers of damnation and divine fire, hidden deep within the marbled citadels of the House of Wisdom, the Jabirian alchemists labor in silence and smoke. They are not merely scholars or inventors. They are architects of terror, surgeons of creation, and sanctioned heretics in the employ of the sublime Sultan. Their school is not one of peace, but of peril. Their scriptures are etched in blood and mercury, drawn from the Smaragdine tablet, and bound by the ancient seals of Solomon. The Order accepts any who can endure it, man, woman, or something in between, for the secrets they uncover do not favor flesh. They favor will. Initiates study for 7 years beneath the watchful gaze of the high alchemagi. They chant invocations while their fingers blister from acid and cold. They commit impossible theorems to memory while the eyes of angels, dead and bound, watch from glass jars suspended above the halls. And then come the 3 trials. The first trial demands they forge their own alchemist's armor, runes of Solomon etched deep into plates of black steel, laced with hidden engines that hum with divine resonance. Without it, the alchemical backlash would vaporize them in moments. With it, they may shape the world. The second trial is creation, the birth of a Taqueen, a homunculus wrought of living silver and cursed breath. It must be formed over 40 days, within a celestial sphere, under strict celestial alignments. If successful, the creature will serve its master, flowing like mercury through machines and chemical fog, operating where no human hand may tread. But failure is agony. Many alchemists scream as their malformed Taqueen bursts from the sphere, a writhing horror that knows only loathing. It fuses with its creator, burrowing into their mouth and throat, wearing them like a suit of flesh, and whispers secrets in reverse tongues as it scuttles away into the vaults below. The third trial is the most harrowing, the opening of the third eye. Not metaphor, not allegory, a true eye birthed upon the brow, pulsing with divine geometry. Success grants vision beyond the veil, of elemental forces, of cosmic truth, of the lattice upon which all reality hangs. But most fail. Their third eye swells and devours the originals, fusing them into a grotesque, unified orb. What they see drives them mad. They babble of crawling structures beneath reality, of screaming matter and living equations. Out of mercy, they are put down. Others are kept alive, locked in dark chambers, whispering truths that not even the Sultan dares to hear. Those who pass all three trials become alchemical demiurges, able to melt steel with breath, command flame without spark, and conjure death from liquid silver and bound gin. They craft the war beasts of the Sultanate, the Jabirian battle lions, clockwork horrors that roar like cannon fire and tear apart tanks like toys. They design chemical weapons that dissolve men down to their sins. They do not fear the battlefield. They seek it. There, surrounded by agony and fire, they find clarity. To witness a Jabirian alchemist at war is to behold apocalypse given form. They are priests of annihilation, disciples of fire, and custodians of secrets mankind was never meant to hold. The assassins of the Sultan's wrath. They are the creeping dread in every general's dreams, the whisper behind the veil, the death that comes too swiftly to see. They are known by many names: the ghost wolves, the secret knives, the subtle vipers, the Sultan's wrath, but all who speak of them do so with trembling reverence. For these are not men in the way we understand men. They are nightmares draped in flesh. The assassins of the Sultanate are born in darkness and shaped by cruelty, emerging from the abyssal fortress of Alamut, the Unconquerable, a citadel of black stone perched atop a cursed peak where no birds sing. Alamut is more than a fortress. It is a wound in the world, a place where time coils like a serpent, and the veil between life and death is paper thin. It is whispered that the founder of the order, Rashid ad-Din Sinan, the dreaded old man of the mountain, still lives within Alamut, his corpse-thin body sustained by forgotten magics and sacrificial blood. If true, he has ruled for 8 centuries, an immortal horror hidden behind black curtains, his eyes luminous with the secrets of the grave. The assassins, though viewed as heretics by many within the Iron Wall, serve the Sultanate through an ancient and unbreakable pact. One assassin may walk beside an army of 10,000 soldiers, and it is he the enemy fears most. They are warp benders, masters of sacred rites and psychotropic poisons that fracture time itself. Clad in skin-tight black robes inscribed with invisible calligraphy, they can slip between seconds, vanishing into cracks in reality. They emerge behind enemy lines like ghosts from another world, delivering death with silence and vanishing again before the blood hits the ground. Some say they walk backwards through time, killing their prey before the target ever sees them. But this power comes at a cost. The body of an assassin is a twisted engine of pain and perfection. From childhood, they are fed poisons and venom until their veins run thick with death. Their bones are stretched, their muscles cut and rewoven, their minds shattered and reassembled by the magi of the Order. The process breaks 9 out of 10 initiates, but the survivors, they become monsters of grace and terror. Their weapons are relics of pain, curved blades of poisonous iron forged from the blood of their forebears. These blades are quenched in the bile of hybrid beasts, basilisk manticore spawn birthed in vats of burning milk and salt, and are laced with the milk of Manat, the legendary cup of death. One cut is all it takes. Flesh blackens, arteries collapse, and the heart dies screaming. In the vaulted chthonic dungeons of Alamut, young assassins are raised in eternal twilight. They are denied warmth, denied kindness. Their dreams are shattered with ritual nightmares, their pain made sacred. Over generations, they are bred into something inhuman. Their blood becomes liquid venom, drawn and smelted into toxic steel. Thus, the blood of the first generation, those ancient killers of myth, still courses through the blades of their descendants, deadlier now than ever. To face an assassin is to die. To be hunted by one is to vanish from the world as though you never existed. The Azib's foot soldiers of faith, unmarried men drawn from the breadth of the Sultanate, raised not in privilege but in desperation, pressed into service by blood and by duty. They are the expendable ones. For every 20 households within the lands of the believers, one Azib must be raised, sworn to the Sultan's will, pledged to die on alien soil. These soldiers serve as skirmishers, raiders, trench rats, and wall guardians, sent first into the jaws of the heretic war machine. And though many perish screaming in the mud of no man's land, there are always more willing to take their place. To be an Azib is to walk barefoot into hell for a chance at gold and fleeting glory. They are clothed in rags and rust. Armor is scarce, for their lives are cheap. Their commanders, cataphracts, and janissaries clad in silvered plate see no reason to waste fine gear on those destined to fall. The Azibs are told they will be rewarded in paradise. Most find only worms. They wield jezails, long-barreled firearms with curved stocks, handmade and unique to each warrior. These weapons are works of desperate artistry, carved with prayers and charms to ward off death. They fire whatever can be scavenged, jagged lead, rusted nails, even shards from the great iron wall itself. Each bullet a prayer for survival or vengeance. Many carry curved daggers, ancient pistols, or blackened sabers passed down from the dead. Their packs are filled with traps, bombs, and sappers' gear, tools for digging into the flesh of the world and leaving it worse than they found it. In the trenches, Azibs die by the hundreds, torn apart by artillery, burned by hellfire, or butchered by heretic knights. Some return, hollow-eyed and broken, unable to speak of what they saw in the tunnels beneath the battlefield, where shadows move of their own accord and voices echo from beneath the soil. Yet still they come, still they volunteer to kill a heretic, to touch gold, to be remembered. Because even among the poor and forgotten, there are stories told of Azibs who returned from no man's land with silver chains, emerald rings, and tales of devils slain. And in a world gone mad, even a sliver of hope can lead men to the edge of damnation. The janissaries, the Sultan's mailed fist, his wrath made flesh, his will clad in iron and fire. The janissaries are the most feared of the Sultanate's warriors, an elite brotherhood raised not from willing volunteers, but from the stolen and the damned. Each begins as a child, ripped screaming from burning villages beyond the Iron Wall, taken in raids upon the desolate marches of the north and east, where the sky is always gray and the wind speaks with the voices of the dead. These children are not raised, they are reforged. Beneath the silent domes of the black madrasas, the captives are broken down to bone and ash, their names erased, their memories shattered by chants, beatings, and psychoactive fumes. The Jabir alchemists reshape their minds, binding their thoughts with invisible chains of loyalty. By the time they reach adolescence, they remember only one truth. The Sultan is God's voice on earth, and to die for him is paradise eternal. Their flesh is no less altered, fed a diet of powdered bone, sacred toxins, and boiling elixirs of quicksilver and black honey. Janissaries grow into towers of war. Their skin takes on a pallid metallic sheen. Their blood clots around wounds before they can bleed. Their nerves are cauterized with enchanted needles. They feel pain, but worship it as a teacher. Clad in armor forged from the very metal of the Iron Wall, a material etched with impossible geometries and fortified by ancient alchemy, the Janissaries march like saints of steel. Upon their bodies hang talismanic wards, spun from cursed silver and blessed ash by blind thaumaturgists of the school of the meteoric omen, who see only in dreams and prophecy. Their weapons are both ancient and terrible. Jezzail rifles carved with prayers, hand mortars that spit fire and shrapnel, yatagans curved like crescent moons and etched with untranslatable script. Each blade remembers every soul it has slain. When the Janissaries advance, they do not shout, they chant. Low, guttural hymns, praises to God and Sultan, shaking the air like war drums from another world. They specialize in what no one else dares attempt. Trench assaults, fortress stormings, holding ground against demonic cavalry and nightmarish flesh beasts. To see them descend into the mud-churned hell of no man's land is to witness something between a holy procession and a mass execution. They do not retreat, they do not hesitate, and when they fall, if they fall, their comrades kneel beside their corpse and whisper, "He wakes in paradise." The Sultanate's sappers, in the depths beneath the Iron Wall, where stone groans under the weight of centuries, the Sultanate's sappers move like ghosts through smoke and dust. They are not soldiers in the conventional sense. They are engineers of destruction, priests of pressure and fire. They lay traps beneath the battlefield like surgeons opening veins, whispering the names of infernal deities into the soil as they set fuses and load the sulfurous charges of blackened alchemic powder. Every fortress the Sultan has taken, every trench the heretic has fled, bears the fingerprints of a Sultanate sapper. They are specialists in mine setting, fortification and demining, crawling through barbed tunnels and cursed ruins with holy formulas carved into their skin. Their duty is to keep the great cannons of the Iron Wall thunderous and roaring, even as their barrels melt and split beneath the relentless heat of battle. And oh, how they burn! Each sapper bears the mark of fire, a latticework of charred flesh, blistered lips, and fused fingers. The colossal artillery they tend to is as dangerous to the operator as it is to the enemy. When they load the shells, great iron coffins filled with alchemical hellfire, they must do so wearing nothing but sacred oil, for clothing catches fire too easily in the cannon's wrath. But they do not scream. They endure. Some say the sappers have no nerve endings left. Others say they are kept alive only by the iron nails driven through their spines, enchanted to keep them upright even after death. Their eyes are often covered with soot-black veils, for the flashes of artillery have long since burned their natural sight away. Yet still they see, through other means. In battle, sappers carry tools as weapons, hammers, satchels of explosives, and jagged hooks used to climb shattered walls. They are always the last to leave a fortification, and sometimes, when defeat is inevitable, they are ordered to stay behind, to light the fuse, to become the fire. The lions of Jabir, beneath the golden gardens of Damascus, past the perfumed halls of poetry and the gleaming minarets of paradise, lies another world, a world of blackened stone, of shrieking metal, of lab-grown monstrosities. This is the Alchemaji complex, a hidden labyrinth beneath the iron wall itself, carved deeper than time, cloaked in scripture and secrecy. And at its terrible heart, the lions of Jabir. Their origin is whispered only in the uppermost circles of the Sultan's court. The common folk see only the miracles, the mechanical birds of brass, the talking animals in the souks, the clockwork lovers gifted to pampered emirs. But deeper still, past the cavern of the sleeper, beyond the 7 gates of potentiality and the even more hidden 7 gates of actuality, something far more dangerous is born. Here, the Jabarian alchemists practice takwin, the blasphemous act of creation, the forging of life from dust, word, and fire. It is not a science, it is not a faith, it is sacrilege made manifest. And it births lions. Each lion of Jabir is a one-of-a-kind entity, a chimera not merely of lion and man, but of intention and accident. Some walk on 4 legs, others on 6 or 8. Some bear wings like scorched parchment. Others drip molten resin from mouths that scream when they breathe. Each is shaped by the genius and madness of its creator, sculpted in laboratories where failed experiments gibber in jars and corpses twitch under dust sheets. The alchemists claim to derive their methods from the books of Solomon, forbidden grimoires said to have been copied by jinn onto human skin. The process is volatile. Many die in the act of creation, but the Sultan demands more lions, and the fires of the laboratories never go out. Yet for all their strength, the lions are flawed. Many are malformed, born twisted, fused, or asymmetrical. Their beauty marred by terrible defects, the alchemists try in vain to hide behind gilded armor and ritual tattoos. Some suffer constant agony, their bodies at war with themselves. Worse still are those with human-like minds, creatures who understand what they are. These few, cursed with reflection and self-awareness, often fall into paroxysms of madness or silent weeping rage. They ask questions their makers dare not answer. Why was I made? Why do I suffer? On the battlefield, however, the lions are without peer. Used as shock troops and royal guardians, they are unleashed at the moment of greatest need, racing through trench lines and demonic hordes with impossible speed and unnatural savagery. Their claws rend steel, their breath boils skin. Some are even gifted with strange powers, telepathic command, bursts of flame, or the ability to pass unseen. The Sultan himself is said to be guarded by 77 of these creatures, his personal hunting pack. When he rides to war, they form his vanguard, a tide of howling, gilded agony that tears through enemy lines like wolves through lambs. They do not roar. They scream praise to the Sultan and to the Creator who made them suffer. The brazen bull. Not all creations of Takween are beautiful. Some are made for pure annihilation. In the year of the Hijra, 821, when the sun burned black during a lunar eclipse and the iron wall echoed with the shrieks of distant artillery, Sultan Bayezid III issued a command. Build me a beast of war, not of flesh and faith, but of brass and fury. Let it thunder like Judgment Day itself. The Jabarian scientists obeyed. Thus was born the Brazen Bull, or Boa as the soldiers call it, a living siege engine, grown in molten vats and forged in prayer. These are not machines nor beasts. They are weaponized aberrations, bodies of thunder wrapped in fire-tempered bronze. Their muscles are rope-thick cables of corded sinew and metal. Their bones are spines of alchemical alloys, wrapped in engraved armor etched with holy sigils, scar-stitched by blind monks with no tongues. Their eyes glow with internal fire. Their hooves leave burned imprints in the earth. Their blood is boiling tar, their breath sulfur and pain. Each brazen bull carries a weapon no mortal could hope to wield. Flame cannons, volley guns, blessed sabers the size of tombstones. The janissaries worship them as demigods of destruction, pillars of sacred wrath that walk unshaken through storms of bullets and bile. When a bull charges, the very earth splits. When it fires, the air trembles with pressure and shrieking brass. Its hide bears talismans of protection and alchemical invocations hammered into place during its months-long gestation. To mount a bull is a holy rite. To ride one into battle is a death sentence for the enemy. They are not intelligent, but they remember. It is said that each bull contains the bound soul of a heretic, eternally trapped in a body built for suffering and obedience. When the bull opens its mouth to roar, one can sometimes hear the voice of the damned, whispering things in lost tongues. On the battlefield, they are the immovable fulcrum around which the Sultanate's forces pivot. No trench can hold them. No wall can stop them. When the Brazen Bull arrives, the enemy has only two choices: run, or be ground beneath hooves of fire.